Hey Clashers, in the World Championship, we have seen that Root Riders were combined with the Super Wizard Blimp, and it even 3-starred and it worked. So some players thought, let's bring this to Legends. Anorak came up with this beautiful looking strategy with 2 ice hounds, which I feel is really interesting. So I thought, let's check out his attacks, let's learn and see how well this works, because I wasn't really believing it, but he sent me screenshots and he is smashing bases. So let's check it out. Okay, and let's kick things off with the Nemesis base style for this strategy, which is the double poison base. Because poison towers are limiting your options for landing the blimp by quite a bit. So, what other important things are there to really look out for or you have to consider when playing the blimp? Besides a poison tower, there's as well the town hall. Because as soon as the town hall is going to fire at your blimp, it's going to leave lava dots on the floor, which will deal damage over time. And those will take down the super wizards. So what we see now here from Anorak, we see the blimp flying in, but he has to freeze the town hall as well because of possible sweeper interactions, but mostly because of the town hall lava dots on the floor. You do not want to have the town hall firing. Now, he's just trying to interrupt the ring, pretty much the entire same job as what the Royal Champion Charge would do. And then we have the Root Rider follow-up. But there is as well a second Lava Hound in this army composition, which he uses in a really interesting way because he wants to make sure that his healers are staying alive guaranteed. Because everyone who's playing Root Riders, it feels like as soon as you have a healer staying alive, those Root Riders can typically not go down. The only way is of like, I don't know, running into a raged up Crusher Mortar or something like that. Otherwise, it is kind of crazy how long those Root Riders can survive, and he's doing that with only 3 of them. The first thing, flying across with the Lava Hound, and the next cool thing about this is that this Lava Hound, or the Ice Hound to be more specific, is doing 2 things. First, triggering traps, triggering spell towers, I guess, and then the third thing is the freeze effect, which means he was able to freeze this, the ricochet cannon right there, make sure that there's no damage whatsoever. The ricochet cannon had no chance of fighting even back because it was frozen the entire time. And now everything is joining back together. The next important thing here is that because of the double ice hound, and you could get rid of the second ice hound if you would like to, but because he's using the double ice hound, he does not have any space for bakeries in his army composition. And this is well the reasoning why you will see him have typically always the queen and as well the royal champion inside the core push. The reason is you need some damage in there. You need some damage so the Root Riders can move on, because the Root Riders themselves, they're the tanks, they're the support to open up the compartments, but they cannot deal the damage. They're really terrible at doing that. So they need some support in doing so, and the Royal Champion on her own is one source, but typically you're trying to go for a 2. Royal Champ and Bakeries is like the regular one, but on this one he's going with the Queen and the Royal Champ. On this one, defending Royal Champ unfortunately snipes out the Warden, which makes things closer than it should have been. But with the Queen on her Giant on the backhand, the Royal Champion's going crazy as well. This is looking completely fine, and the base is crushed. So, and this is what I love about this. This works. It is really crazy powerful even, because he has used this now one day in Legends, or like the first day, let's put that way. The first day where he used this in Legends, he has now played it a couple of days, but the first day on where he used this, he got like 280 on offense, which is crazy. I mean, 280 on offense, that is a really solid day, right? And he is going to make things just look easy. It is crazy. So let's just have a second look at another double poison, because I feel like at higher trophy ranges, they are the most common ones. And then we're going to take a look at a double rage, as well on a rage invis, which in theory should be better for the blimp, because that's where all the damage, like all the defense, are stacked together, and this is where the blimp really shines. Those sort of phases is where problems can start, but the key thing which he does here is just blimping next to the town hall. The poison tower was triggered by the ice hound, and he made sure again to freeze that town hall. This is the most crucial thing about this, to be honest. Freeze the town hall if you want to land close to it. If those lava dots are getting onto your wizards, you're done. And take a look at that. Insane value. I mean, getting that with a Royal Champion charge, you would have needed to have perfect redirecting. And I feel like even with the usage of, for example, the Ace Vial or the Royal Champ, this value would have been quite tricky to achieve. So really, really nice value. He's now again sending in the Root Riders. This time again having an early Ice Hound. And this is something which he will mix things, like he will mix this up depending on where the air defense is, depending on what the goal here is. On this one, he tried to have the freeze effect. You can see like this entire compartment was frozen. And the next thing, he wanted to trigger the poison tower early on, because poison towers can really, really be annoying, especially for your healers. They will deal a lot of damage, and red mines and other splash damage things can really pick them off quite easily. So you have to be careful with those poison towers. That's another reason why poison towers are so popular right now in the higher legends. But hey, everything is now pushing through. We have the Root Riders going through as well. The overgrowth is going to wake up. The first tower is on the healers, but because he's using the healing tome and the rage gem, so there's no eternal tome in this one, he can just heal them back up. And now he's using the overgrowth on the crusher mortar, because that's just the most scary thing for any Root Rider attacker. But if you can handle that, you're completely fine. And this is exactly what is happening right here. The Royal Champion then coming in, can help on this back end. Anorak is more like me, where he's trying to, like, I don't know, send the headhunters for cleanup. But yeah, make sure that using your headhunters for the defending heroes. But either way, we have now the Crusher Mortar waking up again, but we have the Giant running around. We have the King, we have the Queen, so that is still fine. It's one of the closer attacks, that's for sure. But it's still going to be 3-star, and that's the important thing, right? Like, you have to get those 3 stars in, and that's exactly what is happening, because those healers were stuck on the Queen, the King going around, and this is indeed the next 3-star. You could as well opt in for something different than the second Ice Hound. You could go for bakeries and such if you want to, or like another Root Rider or something. But I really like this unique approach with having this Ice Hound, because he's using it in many different ways. So let's just check out the next attack, because the Ice Hound again is kind of clutch. Because this time again, we're looking at a double rage base. And especially then with the hook tower, it is really interesting to where to land, because that might really limit your options. But as well, if you have the Ice Hound fly across from 2 air defenses, you can freeze the entire rage section. So there's many use cases for those Ice Hounds, and it's literally a tank. It triggers spell towers, it triggers traps, and it just freezes. It's like many things at the same time. It's like obviously a really high skill thing to use, but still, you have many options. On this one, take a look at the Blizzard value. I mean, that is just disgusting. He's quite unfortunate that nothing is going for the Town Hall itself, but just imagine if something would have went for the Town Hall. But even with this value, I mean, again, a Royal Champion with the Haste Vial would have had issues to get the same value. It is crazy how much you can get with this spell and as well troop investment. And at the same time, you have to consider he had not to invest any hero abilities whatsoever. And that is really massive and really important. But let's get back to the main push. We have again the Queen now with the Root Riders in. We have then as well later on the Royal Champion getting added, because as I said, you need to have this double threat behind the Root Riders to keep moving forward. We have the King again on the outside. That's just a staple. And this time again, we're not using the Ice Hound right away. That is important, because it means that we can have exactly what I just said. Ice Hound from one air defense to the second to not just trigger the Rage Tower, but as well use the freeze effect. So now we have the timing. Ice Hound is flying in. It's tanking. The troops are taking down the air defense. Now it's flying further. It's not triggering the most traps because there are no traps, but perfect freeze. Take a look at that. The entire Rage Up section is getting frozen, and it's pretty much not doing anything. So the Ice Hound really is kind of clutch, and you can use it in many different ways, which I really like about this. Again, this is not the moment where I feel like, oh, things are fizzling out, this is looking horrible, this will fail. But this is the crazy thing about this strategy. You have only one Root Rider alive, or like 2 Root Riders alive, which can open up the compartments. Your heroes with the raged up healers, they would just do magic. I mean, they would just do magic every single time, and it's crazy to watch, because if that giant, that thing gets into the different compartments, it is GG for any base. That giant is just so tanky, it's so strong, and yeah, take a look at that. It looked really bad down here, right? But on the back end, he even is able to swag a hero ability. It is really madness. And I mean, I'm just happy that he shared this with me, because I could not, like, when he shared like, oh, I got 280 on offense, I was like, oh yeah, that's a really solid day. I got this, by the way, with the Blizzard Root Riders. What? How? Well, now I see how, and it's still impressive. But we have now covered the double poison. We have now had a double rage. Let's take a look at the rage invis, which I feel like is the next classic style, especially in the lower to mid trophy ranges of legends, because higher up people usually know how to approach them. But let's find out how he's doing that. Again, we have overall a classic setup. We have air defenses further inside the base, which obviously helps this entire strategy. But the reasoning for this is quite simple because, well, you need to get rid of those test loons from the Root Rider attacks. Like, if you have Root Riders and half a Lalo flying above that, you need to get rid of those healers, and with that, you need to get rid of the test loons. Otherwise, you cannot catch the healers. And this is why you need those further inside air defenses. But this really allows for blimps like this. Take a look at the value overall. I mean, that is just crazy. No Royal Chamber Charge could have gotten that. If, for example, I don't know, the Dragon attack would have gotten that with the Royal Chamber Charge, you would have been pretty happy. So it's kind of crazy to consider that. But we have now the push in here. He's not just using the Rocket Runes to final, but as well to have an initial push and well, test for the first couple of black mines, red mines, whatever. Keep moving forward this time around. He's using the Headhunter. Appreciate that. I can now do the backseat gaming as well, where I'm saying, oh, by the way, you have to use the Headhunters, so I can feel like the YouTube chat. That's kind of cool. But hey, keep pushing forward. He has now the overgrowth, the first one coming in as soon as the Rage Tower is popping. That's the important thing. You want to have the Rage Tower activated and then use the overgrowth. But this means that the Crusher Mortar is kind of annoying. But with the Skeleton Distraction, he's doing a great job of not taking too much damage. We have now Black Mines, though, hitting those healers, which is quite unfortunate. The iTzu from a different angle, catching another Black Mine. I feel like on this one, he could have more sent it from the bottom side here. But yeah, I feel like this was the first attack where I feel the iTzu did not do too much. He should have sent it from the more bottom side to maybe caught those Black Mines over there. But in the end, I mean, I'm just here saying, oh yeah, you could have done this or that better. But in the end, it's still going to be a 3-star, right? So that is not going to be any like big difference maker or whatsoever. So we have now the push going through. We have the Royal Champion keep charging forward. We have her going in. No hero abilities left except the Archer Queen, which can be used for the core. The Root Rider, again, opening up the compartments of the core. As I said, that's like the clutch thing now. Opening the compartments, giving the action figure the room to work, because that giant is just so crazy. We have the Queen ability now popping. We have the original Queen, unfortunately, going down right away. But the giant is now in here. He's trolling now a little bit because, well, take a look at that. Oh, defending king. I have to chase. And so it takes a couple of longer seconds to actually take down the core. But hey, the giant was not even close to going down. And this means it's yet another 3-star for Anurag. It's unreal. I mean, I will be honest. I did not expect that Blizzard Root Riders would work that well in Legends. It is crazy. But if you want to give it a try as well, I have the strategy link down in the description. Obviously, a huge shout out goes to Anurag for sharing those attacks. And yeah, give it a try as well if you're just tired of Royal Champion charges. Nope, you cannot get rid of both Royal Champion charges and Root Riders. You have to use at least one of those two, I guess. But either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. I wish you guys back to more with the next class video. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.